Hello everyone, welcome to my channel The Idea Machine. Today we are going to be covering the last part of our chapter 1 enterprise, which is the purpose and key elements of a business plan. Without further ado, let's go. Remember that ideas are bulletproof like this one. As a quick overview of what we are going to talk today, we are going to speak about how to create a business plan and what is the purpose and some of the key elements that a business plan must cover. Business plan. So essentially, a business plan is like an overview of the business that an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur is going to set up. It not only acts as a tool that gives you direction while you are working on your business, but it also provides investors with your preview or your vision, and that allows them to trust your idea a little bit better. What are some elements that a business plan includes? Let's go through those. First is an executive summary. The executive summary is essentially the overview of your business idea and the different strategies that you're going to use for marketing, for finance, for operations, and for hiring people. It will basically give let's say you're presenting the business plan to somebody who's super busy or like a big investor, right? Your executive summary would provide them with all the info they need on like one slide. So it's essentially a snapshot of your idea. Later, as you go through a business plan, you have to start expanding on each and every topic. The first one being business opportunity, which is essentially what is the nature of your product and what's your target market. Let's look at a primary example, Zudio, this time around, because I've been reading a lot about it. So Zudio is a clothing brand that's popular in the entirety of India, and the business is run by Tatas. In this case, if you think about the business opportunity, they were looking to create a fashion brand that's stylish but also affordable and targets a majority of the Indian customers, which is not looking for, let's say, a very exclusive clothing option for their day-to-day needs. What was their marketing strategy? They essentially targeted micro influencers and key opinion leaders in the sector, to people who are, marketing the good to the average person. You do not want to be going high up, you do not want to be talking to celebrities, but you want to be talking to the rest of the audience that's living in India and purchasing your product. Management wise, they essentially their business plan must have included the information about the kind of people they want running for Zudio, which is people who are passionate about the brand and who truly care for marketing the brand to other people. Operations wise, Zudio has locations, I think, everywhere. It essentially, operations part of the business plan covers where your stores would be located, how will you get the manufactured clothes to the stores, and what kind of technical support would you need to run a store at that scale. And the last thing is a financial forecast, which is essentially if you have the store up and running for a while, what would be the projections, what would the sales look like, and what the cash flow would be. This will help any investor, potentially if Tata probably bought one on board, to understand the benefits of the business. Moving forward, what is the benefit of having a business plan? So let's keep the running example of Zudio in mind and talk more about this. It would have helped for clarity. Essentially, when you're creating a brand, a business plan, like I said before, gives you the eagle's eye overview of what the business is like. So it provides you with the right clarity or the right vision for the business. It allows you to secure finances, which is again super crucial for any up and coming business, as it might have been for a brand like Zudio or anyone else who's setting up a business. It allows you to assess strengths and weaknesses. In Zudio's case, think about, the brand being cheap and affordable and fashionable at the same time. Whereas weaknesses would be is that the cloth market is highly cluttered in India. There's a lot of independent providers, there's big brands, there's small brands. So how do you make a space for yourself? The clear plan of action, it essentially tells you where you want your brand to be in the future, like how Zudio aimed at the affordable fashion sector, and you can already see where they are at right now. Higher chances of success. Any business with a solid business plan and the right vision will always have more chances to grow than a business that does not have a plan or is rather just proceeding blindly in a specific direction. Moving forward, we'll talk about the limitations of a business plan. So like everything, right guys, like planning, as much as you do it, will always have its limitations. Some limitations from a business plan that necessarily might not restrict to this, but these are some common ones. First is reliability on forecasts. In this case, let's say you think that, okay, my product is fantastic and I'm going to make 1 crore in sales in my first year, but you're relying on the forecast. But a forecast is exactly what the term is, forecast. It's essentially what you think you might earn. It might not necessarily be true, and this causes people to overlook uncertainties when they're creating business plans. Inflexible approach, which is essentially you have a path drafted and you do not look outside of the path, or you do not try to stray away from it because you think, oh, this is my business plan and this is the perfect approach for me. But that might not be true, because the nature of any market is dynamic. It always keeps changing. What is best today might not be the best tomorrow, and therefore being flexible is very crucial. Not focusing on competition, like I said before, competition can be from anyone, from local players to national to multinational players. And when a business starts growing, competition always tries to cut you. In Zudio's case, like I said before, there must be many players who are eyeing their business, but because Tata is such a solid businessman, they've made sure that their space is untouchable and they are the brand they are now. But most businesses face a lack of not focusing on competition and therefore face losses. And the last thing is tunnel vision. Very similar to inflexible approach, but the idea is that you are solely shaped by one person's vision. Let's say the entrepreneur coming up with a product idea thinks that this is a problem and this is how I'm going to solve it, and this is the only way to do it. But someone else comes up and is like, no, there's a better way to do it. But this person will never trust them because they think their idea is the best, because that's a certain ego complex that comes in between, and that overlooks the different array of potentials for your product and for different perspectives in the market. So these are some limitations of a business plan. Thank you for watching, everyone. With this, do remember that we've completed our first chapter, Enterprise, and we are going to move to chapter 2 moving forward from our next video series. To watch these concepts in a shorter format, make sure you guys subscribe to the Instagram and TikTok channels as well. But if you want to learn the longer lessons, YouTube is the place to be on. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey. Thank you, everyone.